This week on the Best of the West, we go to Alberta, Canada with Mountain Man Adventures. Then we meet up with Ladd in Wyoming chasing mule deer with R&K Hunting Company. So keep it right here on the Best of the West.
I'm Tom Sallows, owner of Mountain Man Adventures. Been operating outfitting business for the last 6 to 7 years. The main thing we hunt for is moose. That's kind of what we build our business around, but we're really getting into the bears. It's all spot and stalk black bear hunts here. When we do those, reasons we do those, number one is it's a lot of fun, but we also do it as a bit of a management tool to help our moose calves. We got a really good population of black bears up here and some good size to them as well. So we have a lot of fun, and if we're able to save a few moose calves, that's a bonus, and show some of our clients a really good time.
What I'd like to talk with you a little bit about today is when we go to shoot a bear, we want to make sure that he's sideways, broadside to us. So you see all this shoulder area, right? Okay. One of the things about a bear that is quite different than other animals is this lower part of this, it's almost all hair and just their leg bones. So when we lay this anatomy on top of here, then you can see that his vitals are up pretty high and pretty small. Okay, bears are built a lot like people. They're not very deep down through the chest. One of the worst shots that I've ever seen on bears is when they're looking right at you and you look like you got this great big chest to shoot at. Well, really all you're likely to get is one lung, and a bear can run 2 miles on one lung. You won't get the bear. A chest shot is probably the worst shot there is on a bear. So if we look at this again, where we need to shoot is up in this upper area, right in here. Okay. Now you can see where his shoulder, heart, lungs, all that's in a pretty small area, right in behind his shoulders. So then we'll talk about where we put the crosshair. Now if we've got a little bit of wind blowing, like right now we've got a wind coming in here from my right, okay, we're going to say push right 3 minutes. So we're going to go from here is where we want to hit him. Now we're going to go 3 minutes. We're going to put this third bar over, but your main crosshair is to the right. So when I say push right, that means you move this crosshair to the right. Here's your actual aiming point on that spot. So a little bit different anatomy on a bear. One thing about a bear is when they're feeding especially, they almost never stop moving, so you really have to anticipate their body language. When he takes a step and he drops his head, takes a bite or two, he's about to take another step. So you get on the trigger, you get ready, he takes that step, and then you put the crosshair there because you know he's going to be there. And a black bear won't have much of a hump on him. We also got to be really careful especially if they're in much foliage here, and your guide will tell you, yes, that's a shooter bear, or no, it's not. One of the things he's looking for is he's looking for cubs, because when you have, you know, fairly tall vegetation, you can see the bear. Well, cubs of the year right now are only about probably 20 pounds. They're pretty small, so gotta watch out for that. And realistically, we're going to be hunting big boar bears. They'll have a bigger, blockier head on them, and so the risk of a cub being in the short grass is not too high. So that all make good sense?
Yep, makes good sense.
Okay, when we shoot a bear, drop the bear down, just work the bolt and calmly place another shot in him. Okay, regardless of how well you think the shot was and everything else, it never hurts to put one more shot on a bear. Alrighty.
So what I really like about these spring bear hunts is we can cater to all levels. For example, this year we had a mother-daughter, Lori and Daly Fredrickson were with us. Daly was 6 months pregnant, which is amazing. And she did a lot of hiking, but we were able to kind of adapt to that. So there is a lot of time spent covering ground, looking for sign, trying to spot bears off in the distance that we can put a stalk on. Our hunts are all spot and stalk, so it's completely fair chase.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Polestar Outdoors, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com. Welcome back. We're in southwestern Wyoming with R&K Hunting Company. Field host Lat Durrance is with R&K guide Dobie Bat, and they're looking for a big mule deer.
Dang, man. I think you missed another bump back there.
No, we'll hit another one up here.
Hit 99 so far. One more, we're going to 3 digits.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
I had to look twice, make sure they were antlers. Those are about the smallest antlers I've ever seen on a moose. It is a bull though.
Well, the first day we went to a spot on the Queen Mountain side of the ranch. It's one of my favorite spots. I've seen a lot of really big deer there.
And up over there on that little knob, just do a bunch of glassing all morning, see what we can see.
Be looking into the sunlight trying to glass makes things a lot harder.
We hiked in. There's a spot that we call the perch. Wind was blowing so dang hard it almost blew us off the perch, but we stuck it out. Ended up seeing a few smaller bucks, nothing even close to what we wanted to shoot.
Deer are smarter than we are. They're hiding.
They are. Everything we've spotted today has been in the trees or laying down, or nothing really out in the open right now.
What's the plan?
Just see if we can pick anything else out, but I think they're probably bedded up by now. The wind's keeping them out.
We hunt at R&K every year, and in October we get weather. He's telling us weather is going to pass over, it's going to be fine. He's a really great hunting guide, but he's not a meteorologist, and there's a reason. His deer forecast was right on the money, but his weather forecast got us all wet.
So we're gonna get off this mountain, try to keep dry. Deer have already bedded down, they're hiding from it. We're gonna gab it out too.
The guys head back to the lodge for a hot meal and a nap, hoping to find a shooter later on.
Day 2, I decided we would head over to the other side of the ranch that we call the Windmills.
I've driven by it dozens of times off the interstate. You can see all the windmills, but actually being there in the fields underneath them, it was unreal.
So we headed down a place, we call it the First Ridge. It actually burned, and I've noticed in the last month or so that the deer really like that burned area where all the grass and everything has grown back.
This burn, it's all this fresh, green, lush grass. It's what these deer are feeding on here. It's something good to eat.
It's hours and hours of glassing, dealing with rain, snow. It's hard to maintain focus sometimes, you gotta concentrate. But when you see a big buck and you decide that's the buck you want to take him, it just picks it up. Your adrenaline starts pumping, heart starts beating. There's a lot of deer here, a lot of good deer, but you gotta work hard to find the right deer.
Well, it's getting a little later in the morning. The deer kind of back into their same routine after that storm, where they're feeding in the morning, bedding up in the middle of the day, and coming back out late afternoon. We probably saw 100 head of deer this morning, 20 or 30 bucks, a lot of smaller bucks, some pretty decent bucks, but it's only the second day. Nothing we're ready to pull the trigger on yet.
5.6, 7.4, average of 7.5 miles an hour. Best of the West has trained me to use the Husky-Mah wind meter. I work for Best of the West, but I could moonlight and do it maybe the price of a deer. I'd do it for a deer hunt, but I can come out here and read your wind, and I'm certified using the Husky-Mah wind meter.
It's a beautiful day today. We're just gonna go out and test the rifles. We figure it's a little warm for bears anyway, and we wanted to sleep in, but we're gonna go and get everybody comfortable with the shots, and then we're gonna split up into about 3 groups tonight and really hit the oil field and logging roads hard and see if we can't find a big old black bear.
Wait. Center punch. Nice shot.
Did I get it?
Yep.
Set your shutter right in the middle. Good girl.
Count to 3 as he's squeezing the trigger.
Okay.
So I make him count out loud. 1, 2, 3, and he usually sets it off somewhere between 2 and 3.
Okay.
That's kind of what you want.
Okay.
But you don't want to know that. You want to just, if you're not setting it off somewhere between 2 and 3, you're probably pulling it too hard.
Okay.
Same wind, Danny, that 5 to 7 kind of coming across, eh?
That's awesome. I love that long range shooting. It's cool stuff.
It's a real easy to shoot gun. I like it. It's lightweight. It doesn't recoil real bad. It's easy to shoot. It's friendly. It's accurate.
Early on, I was taking a hunter. It was Lori I had first. We were doing what we do, cruising the roads, checking the cuts and the oil field roads and stuff, putting in our time, and we came across a nice bear out in a cut.
Spotted a bear down over the hill here. We're on a lease, and there's like a big cut, logging cut below us. Glassed him from up there, so we just wheeled in here. There's a nice hill up here. We're gonna try to get where we can, hopefully he's feeding out there, and get up above him where we can see him and put a good shot on him. Hopefully look like a nice looking bear. Reload. Good shot.
Just a really nice, relaxing hunt that with very, very little pressure. You know, we spent more like a camping trip with a bear hunting bonus. Another hunter that had booked with me was Andy Hawkins with Hawkins Precision. I had put him with one of my guides, Chris, and they were hunting a more remote area. Late one evening, they seen a really good bear. And upon closer inspection of the tracks, it indeed was exactly what Andy was looking for.
We found this bear 3 days ago. He's a really big bear, and we picked up his tracks again yesterday. We were thinking he went out of this draw, but we found his tracks again today, so he's still in the area. Gives us some hope we're going to be able to find him this evening.
They were able to track him down, actually, and get on him. And it happened pretty quick.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com. We're back in Wyoming with field host Ladd Durrance hunting mule deer with R&K Hunting Company.
Well, we're here with Justin Richens at the R&K Hunting Company. Tell us about the lodge, man.
Well, the lodge is over the top. 11 bedrooms, 8 bath, jacuzzi tub, internet, TV, you know, you can catch the game. They're fishing, just a lot of stuff that I know a guy like you might want to do, huh?
Excuse me one second, I got some things to do.
Sure, I'll catch you later. So here at the R&K Hunting Company, we wanted to make sure that we had a hunt that would fit every hunter's needs, from the most physically handicapped to the most physically demanding. Our ranches are located in southwestern Wyoming, northern Wyoming, central Montana, eastern Montana, northern Utah, and southern Utah. It's all private land, all fair chase, Shiras moose, elk, mule deer, whitetail, and antelope. It's just really a fun place to hunt. The scenery is absolutely breathtaking. Beautiful aspens right now. You'll see the leaves are falling. It's just absolutely picturesque. We'd like to invite you out. Our guides are top-notch. They're committed to making your hunt as best as they possibly can.
Second afternoon, we headed back to the Windmills. There's a lot of deer, so I figured that was probably the place to head. The weather was getting a little better, but the wind was still just terrible.
25.6 miles an hour, had gusts up to. This is conducive to shooting. Instead of a true crosswind, I'm gonna have the wind quartering. So maybe half value, maybe third value. We'll have to figure it when we get there.
First place we went, we weren't 20 minutes into the hunt. I looked way down, probably a mile away through the spotting scope and saw just a huge 3-point. We decided we were gonna try and put a stock in on him. Lat said he's always wanted a big 3-point.
A big mainframe, tall like that.
Yeah.
He's heavy, mature deer. That's the kind of deer I like to take out, man.
Dopey's gonna sneak up over the ridge here and look and see how close we are to these bucks. We're just gonna hold up right here. Give him time to figure it out. One head's easier to hide than several. It looks like the grass is kind of low right up there.
That's what I was
Can we work up there and try to build a shooting position so if it happens, we're ready?
Just have to stay as low as we can.
Yeah, we need to stay low.
We got about 0 cover right here.
We're gonna crawl at this point.
We got about 777 yards, I believe. We were set up, ready to shoot him, had a broadside shot.
I wanted to shoot him. We were set up to shoot him. Camera was on. The wind was just too much.
Lat just looked at me and said it's probably not a good idea. It's not an ethical shot. There was other deer around.
With the Huskamaw, we could have taken that shot. We decided not to, too much variance in the wind. But we knew we didn't want to push them and go in there on them. If they would have smelled us, we could have blown them out. They wouldn't have been there the next day. Having the Huskamaw, we knew we could sit back from 500 to 700 yards away, let them come back out and feed naturally the next day. We'd have a better chance of getting on them.
Coming up, Lat just might get his chance at a real Wyoming trophy.
Get right underneath the windmill, jump out in the perfect spot. On the other side of this knoll right in front of us. 250, 350. This could happen fast. Get set up. We sit there about 15, 20 minutes. We don't see the deer anywhere.
We're gonna wait him out. We don't want to bump him. We have the ability to shoot this whole area here.
There was 15, 17 yards. There was a window there to take the shot.
With Huskamaw scope, we don't want to bump him. Big mature deer like that, if you bump him, he knows you're after him.
After we sit there 20, 30 minutes, we think he's probably bedded down. Nothing's gonna happen. And then all of a sudden,
So Andy made a good shot, but you know, they went in there and found some blood right away. After following it for a little ways, you know, it was kind of getting a little sparse and running out of light was the biggest problem. And, you know, Chris made a great call by saying, you know, choosing to back out and come back the next day. They didn't want to be bumping them any further. It is a really remote area, and last thing they needed was him running down over a mountain or over a cliff somewhere. The next day, they went back. Early the next morning, we actually sent John and Pat with them to give them a hand.
Down this way, and we'll do some grids and see if we can't pick them up. Can't be too far.
And they recovered it fairly quick.
Andy's here with Hawkins Precision, and he makes some beautiful scope rings for us. I helped him design these rings with the offset level so you can easily see down the side. Just open your left eye and see that level without ever lifting your cheek. Andy's made bottom metal for us for a number of years now, action screws. It's also helped me out a number of times when I was in a bind and need something quick, and always able to come through for me. And really appreciate it. Glad to have you on this hunt with Mountain Man Adventures. And I don't know how you could ask for a better bear, huh, buddy?
No, it's perfect. I've never guided someone that was 6 months pregnant before, but she was a trooper, and you know, we had her and Lori together, which I thought was a really, really unique situation. You know, a mother-daughter, and if we were successful, you know, that'd be pretty special if Lori was able to watch her daughter take a bear.
This afternoon we're gonna really put the miles on. We got Lori and Daly both. Lori got a nice bear a few days ago, so Daly's probably gonna be up, but Lori does have another tag, so it's just gonna be depending on the situation and all that. But another good night, looks like, after rain. Hopefully the bears are moving.
Oh, I see one, and a bunch of horses.
You see a bear?
Yep, I do, and he's a big one. He's out by that lee site.
Oh, I see him.
You see him?
He's to the right of that building. So there's the building and then the trees, and then he's right,
Way across the valley. I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna get over there. It's a pull. I think there's a road that we can go back, grab the side-by-side, wheel all the way over there, and hopefully we run into him later. Looks like he's worth going after. We're able to get up to a high vantage point there, and of course the bear wasn't there anymore. It took us a few hours to get our butts over there. We set up hoping he would come out in the same place, which they often do. And we weren't waiting long, and I decided, you know, I better crawl around here and check, because you'd hate for the bear to get around you and get your wind. So I snuck over the hill, and I was standing up on a stump, and I looked across, and I could just barely make out this bear silhouette moving through the trees.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Polestar Outdoors, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com. We're in Cody, Wyoming at the range with John Porter, and he's giving some tips to a shooting school student who's never shot a rifle beyond 350 yards.
So this is the way we're going to sight our gun in. This is where we're going to shoot our data for long-range data. And when you go in the field, you need to support that gun exactly the same way. Because a lot of people go up to a log in the field, and the first thing they do is set the middle of the gun on the log. Okay. Well, any movement you make here is at least that much movement on the end of the barrel. So always want to leave the front end of that gun alone. Let it set out here. On the rest, take a back rest, whatever you've got in the field. Oftentimes I'll take my binoculars or a rock, slide in there, and I'll run my hand on top of that, because then I can make a fist to get a little more height. I'll steer that gun just like that. So I'm always simulating that exact same gun tracking, the exact same support on the gun, no matter where I'm at in the field. First of all, we think about long range. A lot of guys say, like yourself, you said, well, I've never shot over 350 yards. Okay, well, I don't know if I can shoot long range. Well, can you shoot a 1-inch group at 100?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have a good enough technique on a bench to shoot a 1-inch group at 100. That's an 8-inch group at 800. Okay, that's 1 minute of angle.
Okay.
But there's nothing better than being sighted in for, let's say you're going to shoot 475 yards. You dial to 475.
Right.
You want to shoot 250. You dial to 250. We usually base these on a 200-yard zero, because then you're only about a maximum about 1.5 inches high at any distance from out through 200 to about 2 1/4. That was right in the middle.
That's dead center. Getting ready to go on a couple sheep hunts, so I wanted the confidence into a gun that I could make a long distance shot. I've never shot anything over 350 yards, so I had to get confidence. I came out to the shooting school, and after John gave a detailed presentation of how the gun works, it comes down to shooting it, which we shot the first group at 200 yards. I was about an inch group. So we stretched it out to about 585 yards. I've never, I didn't have any confidence of even doing that, but the gun performed awesome. It's just incredible. It gives me a lot of confidence going on a stone sheep hunt that if I can't get any closer than 500 or 600 yards, I can still take the animal. Holy smokes.
This is the dawn of a new era for hunting, a new era for long-range hunters, and a new era for Best of the West. The Hunter Elite Custom Rifle System is now available at selected Sportsman's Warehouse stores. These custom rifles are made of hand-selected quality components and handcrafted precision machining, mounted with the pioneering Husqvarna scope and the revolutionary BDC turret with patented win-hold technology. At the heart of this rifle is the Best of the West custom 700 style action and bolt, true to a fluted stainless steel match-grade barrel. The dual-port muzzle brake reduces recoil as much as 50%. All of this free-floated on an aluminum-bedded carbon fiber stock by Best of the West. Every rifle is broken in and proven out to 700 yards. Extensive data collection on each rifle provides the information for Husqvarna's proprietary True BC calculator to build a custom laser-etched turret. These custom rifle systems are sub-MOA accurate right out of the box. Improve your accuracy, extend your range, and join the long-range revolution with the Hunter Elite Shooting System, available now at selected Sportsman's Warehouse stores. Learn more at longrangerevolution.com.
Welcome back. Lat and his guide Dobie are closing in on some deer this morning.
I know what kind of deer they have here at R&K. We've killed some really big deer here in the past. We've been hunting, it's on day 3. We've had some weather issues, some wind issues. I'm ready to shoot a buck. And then Dobie spots a big buck. I pick my binoculars up. It takes less than a second to look at him, focus. Okay, I drop him, I'm getting the gun. We jumped in position, tried to get set up on him somewhere 600, 650 yards.
That's him moving? Yes, he's by himself. That grass is too tall right in front of me too.
My heart started pounding, man. This is a shooter. This is a good buck. When you see something like that, you just know it.
Okay, I see him. Range that tree.
Hang on, I've lost him.
All right, he's walking by the lone single tree out there. He just walked to the right of it.
Yeah, he's gonna go over the hill.
Yes, he is. You don't have long.
I got 6 on the tree.
I don't see him. He went over the hill, didn't he? That him with his head down?
Yep.
Oh my God, oh, he's freaking huge. Did you hear that? Oh my God, that's a big frigging deer. That gives calmed me down.
Sorry, man.
No, I'm just playing, bro.
I just looked up there and he just walked out of them trees. Well, he's feeding down into that other patch, so.
All right, I'm making the gun safe. I think we ought to make a run on him.
Hang on, no.
This is a good, I really like my shooting position. If there's any way we can do it, I have to move.
Yeah, stay right where you're at.
If not, we're going down that hill and we're shooting off that next bank.
Yep.
We're on the ground. The deer feeds over the hill. We don't get a shot.
Well, you might be able to do it in the truck if you could drive. Let's do it in the truck. Let's haul out the truck just right down there.
We can kill him if we get down there quick.
Jump in the truck, haul butt around.
Oh, hell, that is heavy.
That's a big deer.
Get right underneath the windmill, jump out in the perfect spot.
On the other side of this knoll right in front of us. 250, 350. This could happen fast.
Get set up. We sit there about 15, 20 minutes. We don't see the deer anywhere.
We're gonna wait him out. We don't want to bump him. We have the ability to shoot this whole area here.
There was 15, 17 yards. There was a window there to take the shot.
With Husqvarna scope, we don't want to bump him. Big mature deer like that, if you bump him, he knows you're after him.
After we sit there 20, 30 minutes, we think he's probably bedded down. Nothing's gonna happen. And then all of a sudden, there he was.
Hit him the second shot too. Boom! That is why we hunt. That is why we do this. Moments of glassing and being cold and waiting, and it all comes together in one pure adrenaline, oh my gosh moment. There he is.
He did exactly what we were thinking.
Woo! He sat there and listened to our whole conversation.
Let threw a shell in there, and boy, he let him have it. That's probably the biggest one I've seen this year in that area.
The way this thing came together, the way it happened so fast, something I'll remember forever.
Oh man, R&K's got big deer, good guides.
That's exactly the kind of deer that I'm proud to take, man. Well, I'm happy. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
For more information on the products used, visit thelongrangestore.com. To hunt with R&K, visit www.thehuntingcompany.com. The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com.
Bear snuck up behind us. We were set up where he was eating, and I snuck over the hill, and he was coming around to get our wind, so he kept coming, but he gave us a pretty good shot, broadside at 60 yards, 65 yards. Well, she hit him.
Found blood right away, so I was able to go back and grab him and bring him to the blood, and we all walked in together and found her bear.
Great, thank you, Tom.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you too.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks for booking.
That was fun.
So we're down to John, everyone else is tagged out, and we're just cruising around the first half of the day here, looking for sign, deciding where to hunt exactly, and stop for a little bit of a shore lunch. But the rest of the afternoon we'll still be cruising around, trying to spot them on these lease sites, pipelines, cut blocks, and if we find a good spot with a lot of sign, we'll probably switch up our strategy. But perfect world would be to spot one at a distance and put a bit of a stalk on it, and then get lined up for a good long shot.
We weren't really finding a lot of sign early, but it was just a matter of time of travel until we found what we were looking for. Comes down to the evening, you know, we had the last 3 hours or so of light, and we were in a good spot, so we really just concentrated on finding what we were looking for. 2 hours before dark, we were driving along and looked out, and down a pipeline we spotted 2 bears. It was definitely 2 good bears, a boar and a sow.
Reload. Right down by that rock, I think.
Piled up right behind the rock.
Right behind the rock, yep. Right behind the rock.
And that's how we do it here. Hornady, right down the hole. Pretty fun. Alberta with Tom Sallows.
Right on a pipeline. Yeah, you got another beauty bear here, Johnny.
Yep, that was a dandy.
Yeah, congratulations. Always
Thank
a pleasure.
you, Tom.
Lots of fun. Yeah, he'll go well over 6 feet again, which is nice. That's kind of our goal.
Go. There you go. Nothing like a 300-pound bear on his back.
We were just on our way home. I spotted a pipeline that we couldn't see. It was just over the hill, and Pat being in the back seat, I just pulled the truck over and I said, Pat, go check over there. There might be something feeding down there, you never know.
There must be a bear up there, so we're gonna just get on it.
We've got a cinnamon bear just up here.
Good shot, John. Got your brownie.
Beautiful.
Can't beat that. You know.
Mountain man.
Did her again.
Good job. Thanks, boys. Well, we better take a couple of pictures quick and get on down the road.